What's good? You know who it is. I'm back, yes, yet again. Alright, I'm pretty sure if you've been on Facebook or online at all, or maybe even watching CNN, you have heard what happened in Ferguson, St. Louis. And, if you didn't know or you don't know, what have you, I suggest you research it, but I will be putting some links in the description box below to help you better understand some of the some of the situations, and be educated on some things. Right now, real quick, Michael Brown, black kid with his friend, another black kid walking down the street, going from the convenient to Michael's grandmother's house, and they weren't on the sidewalk, they were walking in the street, on the side of the street. I'm pretty sure if they were obstructing traffic, that would have come up in some way, shape, fashion, or form in any of the reports, but it hasn't. So, even if they walked on the street, so fucking what? Because, I thought it was America, but obviously at anybody else's convenience, they can tell you where, and where you can't walk on, on public surfaces. So yeah, but my main reason for being here right now in front of you is to ask a simple question, and all right, how can I say this? Well, even if it offends some people, I really don't care. But I'm gonna ask this question to my black people, specifically all you non-black people. I could really give less of a damn of what you say concerning this matter, because again, I'm speaking to black people. Black people, want to ask you a question. This is real simple. I don't, if you leave a response, no red herrings. If you're non-black and you leave a response, either I'm just gonna troll you, or I'm just gonna delete the comment, or I might just ignore it. I don't know. We'll see what the roll of the dice says. But for black people, I want straight, specific responses to my question or questions. Okay. Now, before I even go to the questions, some of my basis for the questions are that, of course, from YouTube and beyond, I've seen a bunch of hypotheticals getting thrown in that don't really need to be thrown in, but typically get thrown in just because a black person just so happened to be involved in an incident, right? So one of them being, well, we've seen black people fuck up before, so you don't know, can't be, can't jump on it real quick. Now, yeah, it's fucking stupid. Another one. Well, he shouldn't have, he should have obeyed the law, because I've seen there's other black people, or sometimes teenagers can get mouthy with the police, and yeah. Then that's just about the guy, that's just saying stuff about the kid who was shot to death with his hands up. And even though witness reports say, and if you do your research, read whatever, or if you've already done it, dig in your brain and recall these things. Reporters said that many of the witnesses say that Michael Brown was never known to be any kind of violent, even though, of course, they showed a picture of him with his fingers up. Because obviously, if you're black and you don't have a smile on your face, you are angry, and you are trying to be tough in the picture. And if you have any amount of fingers up, it is considered a gang sign, and you are now a thug. Yeah, without any proof to that, but that's what they're gonna say anyway. But before I even go off on that fucking tangent, that's just been said about the kid. Now, what happened after the protests and many people marched was, looting and riots. And of course, everybody has something to say about that, without actually offering up any tangible solutions that haven't already been regurgitated a million times and given us no results, like marching, picketing, and protesting, and calling out Sharpton. Yeah, we've gotten so many results with calling out Sharpton, because it's always better to pay off the family and sweep it under the rug. So the same thing can happen a month or 28 hours or a week later, and you'll be right back at the same spot, outraged, and nothing happens. But yeah. Now, if, matter of fact, before that, just know black people weren't rioting in their own neighborhoods, because I know the first thing people think about, oh, niggas is tearing up their own shit again, which surprisingly, even to my surprise, because when I first heard, I was like, see, these motherfuckers that just sabotage everything. But I was wrong, and so were you. Black people weren't tearing up their own shit. They actually went outside of their neighborhoods and actually, you know, burned some other shit down that, you know, wasn't black owned. They passed up any black owned business, any black owned anything. They passed up and didn't tear down. They went somewhere else in other communities and hit them economically. So, you know, well, the store owner may make insurance money. That's all the income that's coming in is that insurance money. They're gonna have to spend that insurance money to rebuild and hope they don't get blown the fuck up again. With that being said, and also, you know, the looting, they took things and passed it around to the people. That's a surprise, because, you know, last time I checked, when you loot shit, I don't hear anybody actually passing shit out to people like, hey, you want, you know, these canned goods I just took from this store? That's not in my community, right? Okay, now we got that out the way. My question is to black people: what can black people do to please you? What can other angry, unorganized, misguided, some cases, black people do to please you? Because I hear people bitch about black people marching and protesting, and that hasn't done anything. I've heard people bitch about black people voicing their opinion on Facebook and talking, and, you know, town hall meetings, not getting anything done. Then I hear people bitch about black people showing force in unity, not tearing up their own shit, but going after the motherfuckers who they've known to help in their oppression. Black people bitch about that. So what is left for black people to do? Can I get a straight answer to that? Now I know, you know, I'm gonna say, oh, well, you know, niggas. Of course you're gonna say that. Well, I have some links I'm gonna put in the description box below, and it's gonna show, you know, that, well, Ferguson is said to be the 6th most segregated city in the United States of America. Also, the police stops compromise, you know, 2/3 of black people, but when they stopped white people, they found far more contraband on them than they did black people, and it kind of mirrors stop and frisk. You know, when you stop and think about it, it's the same thing as stop and frisk, because they stopped more black people than there was black people and even Spanish people in New York City. Well, Latin people, because anybody can speak Spanish, but they stopped more blacks and Latins, Latinos, what have you, than there were living in the city in New York, and found far less contraband of any kind on them than compared to only 6% of white people stopped. And they didn't stop anywhere near half the population of white people that lived in the city. But they found more contraband, and of course Mayor Bloomberg said, he literally said this out of his mouth, they're stopping too many white people. Now, if that's not fucking icing on the cake, the picture in the frame, the key in the lock, the foot in the sneaker, I don't know what is. It's like, how much more tangible proof do you need? You know, Bloomberg's a piece of shit, but you might be a piece of shit also and, you know, agree with him. But yeah, what can black people do? Because it seems that in all fronts, no matter what they do, somebody's bitching about it. And, you know, I don't want any answers of, well, rioting and looting isn't the answer. No, motherfucker, that's not answering the question. Rioting and looting already happened, and they weren't going after their own, you know, anything. So what? So if you don't like black people doing that, what solution do you have other than marching, which hasn't done anything, voting, which hasn't done anything to actually, what do they actually do? Because it's funny, cause you'll say, well, tell me the last time riot and looting got anything. Revolutionary War, where America, well, the colonialists said, fuck you, Britain, we ain't paying you shit. Even though you sending us supplies and all kinds of shit, fuck you, we ain't paying these taxes. Boston Tea Party, there you go. Or the Tulsa massacre. Not even, they like to call it Tulsa riots, but it was more of a massacre where a bunch of angry white people came into town during like the Great Depression period and were mad at black people for doing better than them, and burned everything the fuck down and killed people and never rebuilt. Nobody was reimbursed. Nothing was ever paid back. No reconciliation whatsoever. And what happened? White people got control of that area. So there are instances of rising up. Oh, where you have the the Seminoles and the Cameroons or whatever in Florida fighting against the white generals of trying to capture them and use them as slaves. That helped Geechee Gullah warriors. So there's instances of meeting force with force, and people of course some people got hurt, but it actually stopped and accomplished something. But of course it's only cool when the Bundy Ranch wants to use force to not pay the federal government any taxes. But if black people get tired of being mistreated and no justice, they what are they to do? They just poof, or go in their house, paint themselves white, come back out, or don't come out their house at all. Or I'm seriously confused. Please, somebody help me. Like I said, I want some straightforward answers. Not mentioning black on black crime, because white people kill white people all the time too. Mexican drug cartel is fucking crazy with killing other Mexicans, and I never hear anybody bring that shit up when they bust a fucking Mexican drug cartel. I don't hear nobody go, oh well, Mexicans kill Mexicans all the time, or the whole immigration said, well, Mexicans deport Mexicans. I don't hear none of that shit. So don't pull it here. And thank you for tuning in and listening. And if you know somebody that can maybe give me an answer to that question, to my questions, point them in this direction, because it seems like when you're black, you're stuck between a rock and a fuck you. What the fuck? Blackout.